Excel Tutorial 1, pages 15 through 29. Read the quick little paragraph on the top of page 15 called Creating a New Workbook. On the ribbon, click the File tab to display the Backstage view. Click New in the left-hand navigation pane right here, and then click Blank Workbook. We also could have used the keyboard command Control-N as in New. Now, the zoom on your any Excel workbook affects nothing but how the workbook looks to you on the screen. It doesn't affect your fonts or anything like that. So if you need to alter your zoom to make it easier for you to read your workbook, we're going to move to the far right hand corner of our status bar. Do you see right here where it says 100%? And it says zoom level. We have a plus, we have a minus, and we have a slider bar. So we can zoom teeny tiny, we can zoom humongously great big, and I'm going to turn it back to 100%. You zoom that however you want it. It's a personal preference, but I need you to know where it is, what it does, how to change it. And it's actually very, very helpful when we get into complicated formulas. Sometimes we want to zoom it in so everything's nice and big and we can read it clearly. And again, maybe if your eyesight, just isn't as good as maybe it used to be, you want to zoom up to 120% so it's easier for you to see. Totally up to you. All right, flip to page ex16, read renaming and inserting worksheets. And once you've read that quick little paragraph there, we're going to go to rename the sheet 1 worksheet. So we're going to move down here to our sheet tab and just double click it. When you double click it, it gets a gray highlight on it, and that means it's selected. And all we're going to do is type customer order. If you're a slow typist, go ahead and press pause until you get it in. When you have it in there and it's spelled correctly, press your enter key. If you're finished and you see there's a typo in it, very simple, just double click that tab again and type it in correctly and press your enter key. All right, to insert and name the documentation and customer contact worksheets. To the right of the customer order sheet tab, click the New Sheet button. That's that one right there. When you touch that plus sign, it lights up and says New Sheet. When you click it, a new sheet named Sheet 2 comes in, and it is the active sheet. We know it's active because it's in bright green. Double click the Sheet 2 sheet tab and type documentation and press your enter key. Again, if you made a typo, just double click that again and fix it. To the right of the documentation sheet, click the New Sheet button again, and we're going to name this one Customer Contact. Press your enter key, and now we have 3 sheets: Customer Order, Documentation, Customer Contact. Read that quick little paragraph on moving worksheets. To move the documentation worksheet, point to the Documentation Sheet tab. Hold down the left mouse button. Now, you're going to see a little white piece of paper show up, but the important thing you want to see is that little, see that little down pointing triangle right there? That tells you where this sheet's going to land. Pull it to the left until it's to the left of customer order and then let go. If you missed, just do it again and try again. It's no big deal at all. We can grab these and move them around very easily. The trick is to watch for that little down pointing black triangle that tells you the location of the sheet when you let go. And again, if you made a mistake, just redo it. It's very simple. All right, on the top of page ex17, please read about deleting worksheets. Now, this is important because you don't want to mess this one up, because if you delete a worksheet you needed, you're going to be very upset. So, the first thing you always need to know is the difference between a right and a left mouse click. Left mouse click is selection, right mouse click is a shortcut menu. So we are going to right click the Customer Contact Sheet tab. When you right click, a shortcut menu comes up. We're going to use our left mouse button to select delete. That's all there is to it. Very, very simple. Now, the little information about saving your workbook is incredibly important, particularly when you're working in a lab. You can never save too much. You can always save too little. Save more frequently than you think you need to. And what will happen is you'll get so busy working sometimes that you get into it and forget you should be saving. okay? In a lab, it's very easy for your computer to shut down for whatever crazy reason. Make sure you're saving it a minimum of every 10 minutes, okay? Now, read the steps to save your workbook for the first time on page ex17. I'm not going to do that with you because my computer at home is so different. Newer students, it would just confuse you. So save this workbook to your flash drive and name it SP Customer Order. Do not save to our computers at the school. You must switch to your flash drive, okay? So I want you to do that right there. And then when you're finished, we'll come back and we're going to work on entering text, dates, and numbers. Okay, so on the bottom of page ex17, you read entering text, dates, and numbers after saving your file, right? Now, to enter the text for the documentation sheet. First of all, it doesn't tell you to switch to the documentation sheet, so make sure you click on that tab. All right, press Control Home. That's always just going to make sure you're 100% positive that you're up in cell A1. Type sparrow and pond in cell A1 and then press your Enter key twice. If you're a slow typist, just press pause and get it all in there. All right, in cell A3, make sure you're in A3, type author and then press your Tab key. Type your name in cell B3. If you press the wrong key and you pressed enter, it's no big deal. Just click on cell B3, okay, and type your name. It's your name, not my name. So I'm just going to do it like this so you won't type anything but your own name. Okay, you always have to remember, you always have to press something when you're done typing to make it actually enter that information in the cell. So press your Enter key after you type your name. In cell A4, type date and then press the Tab key. Click cell A5 to make it the active cell. Type purpose. If you make a mistake, it's not a problem. You can go back, click on it, get up here, correct your typing. No problem at all. All right, we should be clicked in cell B5. If you're like me and pressed enter instead of your tab key, that's okay. Just click on cell B5 and type to record customer book orders. And then press your enter key to make it accepted. All right, at the bottom of page ex18, there is a paragraph that you need to read, and it involves truncation and text that truncates and text that lies over other cells. So please make sure you read it. It's actually really important. To move up to the top of page ex19 and read undoing and redoing in action. And when you're finished reading that, we're going to go to undo the text entry in cell B5. On the quick access toolbar, click the undo button. See, and all the typing we did just disappeared. And now we want to replace it with a text to record book orders from a sparrow and pond customer. All right. Just type that in, to record book orders from a sparrow, ampersand with the shift number 7. And when you get finished, make sure you press your enter key so that Excel accepts what you entered in that cell. Go ahead and read on page ex19 about editing cell content. And always remember that if you're a slow typist, you just press your pause button on this until you're ready to go again. All right, to edit the text in cell A1, double-click cell A1. Now, the first thing I want you to do, first of all, when you single-click on cell A1, look how it says ready right here in your status bar. And then we can correct up here in our formula bar. But if you double-click cell A1, look down here in our status bar and it says edit, and we can actually do our edits right here in the cell. In this case, they want you to click next to the D and backspace over the word and put in that ampersand, which is the shift number 7, and then press your enter key to accept it. Okay, so again, if you single click, it still says ready, and you can correct in the formula bar. If you double click a cell, it says edit, and you can correct right in the cell. Pretty easy so far, right? All right, flip to page ex20 and read Understanding Autocomplete and understand what it is and how it works in Excel. When you're finished, we're going to go on to enter Tobias Gregson's contact information. Click the Customer Order Sheet tab to make it the active sheet. In cell A1, make sure that's where you're located, type customer order. And press your enter key twice. Type ship to in cell A3 and then press your enter key. In the range A4 to A10, enter the following labels, pressing the enter key after each entry and ignoring any autocorrect suggestions. All right, I am in cell A4 and I am going to type in first name and press my enter key. And by the way, look on page ex21 at figure 1-14 and it'll show you what we're doing. Ship to, first name, last name, do you see them? Okay, so we did ship to, first name, last name, press your enter key, address, enter, city, state, postal code, and phone. Now, again, if you are like, whoa, way too fast, just press that pause key. Just look at page ex21, figure 1-14, and just type in what they have in cell A4 through A10. Okay? And when you have that all done, click cell B4 to make that the active cell. Flip up to the top of page ex21 and it says in the range B4 to B10, enter the following contact information, pressing the enter key after each entry and ignoring any autocomplete suggestions. Okay, so this is Tobias Gregson, 412 Apple Grove Street, what city are we in? I'll let you pronounce it. New Hampshire, and our postal code is 03061, and our phone number is open paren 603 close paren space 555 4128, and then we press our enter key. Okay, if that was too fast for you, just press that pause key, look at figure 1-14, get it all typed in there. Okay, and then when you get that finished, it's important that you read displaying numbers as text, because there is an error in there that happened because of the way Excel reads what we type in. Make sure you read that paragraph. Okay, to enter the postal code as text, because as you can see right here in cell B9, it lopped off that 0, because remember, Excel expects numbers, and there was no reason for a 0 to be on the front of that number. It was superfluous. Now, of course, we know it needs to be there, so we're going to go back and we're going to force it in. So click cell B9 to select it. Notice that the postal code is right aligned, okay, because that's where our numbers are aligned. So you have to type an apostrophe and then 03061. And I know you just read the paragraph above this, so you know why you had to type that apostrophe in. And then you press your enter key. Okay, now Excel is always going to give you that little green guy up there. Ignore him. It's not happy with us for what we just did and how we put in a number as text, but that's okay. This is correct. It's perfectly fine like that. Again, it is the apostrophe that fixes it so that we can start a number with a 0 and it accepts it as text, and then it's left aligned instead of right aligned. Okay, let's flip to page 22. And you need to read all of this wonderful, excellent information about entering dates because, again, really important that you understand what Excel is doing. And then you need to go to the top of page 23 and read about international date formats, why you sometimes should use them, and if you're using them, why you have to explain it on the documentation sheet. Okay, again, very important stuff. All right, to enter the current date into the documentation sheet, click the Documentation Sheet tab to make it the active worksheet. Click in cell B4 and type the current date in the format shown on page 23, step 2. Okay, so type whatever your current date is and make sure that you use the format that they are showing you. Very important. When you get finished, press your Enter key. That's all you have to do. Then make the customer order worksheet the active sheet. Okay, now take a look at figure 1-116 because this is the information that we're about to be filling in. So go ahead and flip to page 24, and it says to enter the first part of the book order. In the customer order worksheet, which is where we are right here, in cell A12, okay, A12, type ISBN in all caps. It's the International Standard Book Number. As students, I know you're all familiar with that. Then press your Tab key to move to cell B12. In the range B12 to E12, type the following labels, pressing the Tab key to move to the next cell. Okay, category, binding, title, and author. All right, let's get that done. All right, so after ISBN, we're going to put in all caps. My cap lock is on. Category, then your Tab key. Binding, your Tab key. Title, Tab key. Author with the funky in parens S in case it's authors. And then press your Enter key. Again, don't worry if you type slow, press pause, get it all in there. Make sure everything is spelled correctly. I say looking up at my own spelling to make sure. And then we'll move on to step 4. In the range A13 through E17, it's that range right in here. Enter the ISBN, category, binding, title, and author text for the 5 books listed in figure 1-16. Okay. They're going to make it split back a page to see that particular figure, okay? So flip back one page to page 23 and take a look down here in figure 1-16, okay? And then we're going to type in all of this information, okay? Starting right here in A13. So I'm going to pause mine while I type it all in. You need to pause and get it all typed in too. Okay, it wasn't that fun to type in. Did you get it all in? It looks like it's a mess because everything is truncated. Don't even worry about it. We'll fix that in just a minute. All right, on page ex24, go ahead and read entering numbers. Again, super important so that you understand exactly how Excel works and why it's doing what it does. All right, in F12 and G12, okay, we're going to click on F12 and we're going to type in all caps, price, tab, and then QTY for quantity. In cell F13. All right, so now all you have to do is flip back to page 23 and look at figure 1-16 and just put in your prices with a $sign and your quantities, okay, for each one. So go ahead and pause and do that, and when you get finished, make sure you hit save. All right, now we're going to move to the top of page 25, and you're going to read about resizing columns and rows. Some really important information in there, like the default column width, okay, what a pixel is. You need to know all of that, how to set column width, so make sure you read that. All right, at the bottom of page 25, to increase the width of column A, move the pointer over the right border of the column A heading until the pointer changes to a double-headed arrow. Okay, that's right here. That's the right border of the column A heading, right there. See it? Click and drag the right until the width of the column heading is 15, but don't release the mouse button. Now, when you hold your left mouse button down, it automatically lights up with a screen tip that tells you this is 8.43 and 64 pixels. When you pull to the right, watch it change, and you want this to be 15, and it's 110 pixels. When you get it to 15, go ahead and let go. Okay, and if you messed up, just keep wiggling it, pulling it back and forth. In a few minutes, we're going to learn a way to do it where we type it in. It's more precise. If you're like me and you struggle with getting it right on the right number by using the pulling method, don't worry about it. We'll do it another way in just a minute. But for right now, learn how to do it using the boundaries of your column headings. Okay? All right, to increase the widths of columns B and C on page ex26, click the column B heading. Now this time what we're going to do is we're going to hit it this way. Okay, so now we've got column B, right? The entire column is selected. Hold down your control key and then click the column C heading. Okay, control, click, and then you can let go. So now you have B and C selected. If you missed, just go right ahead and try it again. So we want both B and C to be selected. Move the pointer to the right border of the column C heading until the pointer changes to a double-headed arrow. Right there, just like that. Drag to the right until it changes to 18. When you let go, you'll see that both of them change the exact same measurement at the same time because they were both selected. So that's a really great way to make sure you have everything set the same width, and it's fast and it's easy. Okay, let's look at the top of page 27 to set the width of column D with the format command. All right, so we are going to select column D, just like that. Select column D. On the Home tab in the Cells group, Home tab, Cells group, you're going to click on the Format button. Okay, you're going to get a drop-down menu, and then you're going to click Column Width. It's the third selection right there. The column width dialog box opens. Remember that dialog boxes can always be moved if you grab them on their title bar and just move them wherever you want. That's easiest for you to see. Now, in your column width box, you type 30. Click OK. Now that's where, if you're like me and you don't like that pulling back and forth, it's not real accurate, you use this way, you can type in exactly the measurement you want. Now go to column E and change it to 15 characters using that same set of steps we just did, okay? So it's Home tab, Cells group, Format, Column width, type in your column width, which is 15, and press your Enter key. Click on cell A1, and we're ready to move on. Read this nice little paragraph down here about the column widths and how we're going to use AutoFit. AutoFit is an excellent tool that you'll be using all the time. So at the bottom of page 27, to AutoFit the contents of column D, move the pointer over the right border of column D until you get a double-headed arrow. Double click. Okay, what that does is it increases to the width of the longest entry in that column, which in this case is this one. So even though this one's short, when you use AutoFit and you double click, it expands to the longest entry to accommodate it. Okay? AutoFit is super easy, something you'll need to do on a regular basis in this class. Now, look at the top of page 28 and read about wrapping text within a cell. Okay? To wrap the text in column D, resize the width of column D to 30. Now you can do that either by grabbing and pulling, or by jumping over here and doing your column width this way. Either way you want to do it. Make column D, make the width 30. Okay? Select the range D13 to D17, and that's all the titles of the books. On the Home tab, in the Alignment group, so Home tab, Alignment group, click the Wrap Text button. The Wrap Text button is now toggled on for that selection of cells, and text in the selected cells that exceeds the column width wraps to a new line. Go ahead and deselect so you can see what happened. Very nice. It looks much better than that super wide column we had, right? All right, click on cell A12. Now, you also need to be very careful to read right here at the bottom. When we just finished that wrapping text, it says if you want to create a new line within a cell, press the Alt-Enter key to move to the next line. Okay, so it's Alt-Enter is the new line command within a cell. Okay, I'm going to show that to you really quickly. So let's just pretend like for whatever reason, and we would just hold down our Alt key, press Enter, and see how I created a new line? And I'll just undo that. Okay, so again, it's Alt-Enter is the new line command. All right, and the last thing we're going to do in this video is at the top of page 29, read about changing row height so that you know what your default row height is. To increase the row height of row 12, move the pointer over the bottom border of the row 12 heading until it changes into a double-headed arrow. Right there. Drag the bottom border down until the height of the row is equal to 30 points. That's it. That's all you had to do. Save your work, and you're ready to move on to the next video.